Hey everyone, Dr. JJ here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to dive into one of the other five fingers of death that I talk about is that every person should get out of their diet, especially in this country, in the United States here. So let's jump right in. Well, let's recap first. So the five fingers of death that I think everybody should get out of their diet are wheat, all forms of grain. That includes breads, pastas, rice, those types of things. The next is dairy. The next is corn, soy, and sugar. So those five things are considered the five fingers of death. Today we're going to dive through corn. So corn for me it really is not that horrible. At least it used to not be. It's got a few problems, and it's gotten a lot worse in the last, say, 30, 40 years with the advent and prevalence of high fructose corn syrup and all of the corn proteins and oils that we're using, and then the prevalence in our food, and then our food that we eat. Its main source of food is now becoming corn. So it's really kind of prevalent through the entire food chain. Michael Pollan talks about it in Omnivore's Dilemma. We are becoming a monoculture of food, meaning really our whole food stuff, our whole food society is based off of one, maybe two things. And those two things are really corn and soy. So, you know, the cattle that we eat, the beef that we eat, it's all fed corn. The fish we eat, it's even being fed cornmeal and things like that. Now, outside of that, there are still some other problems. We shouldn't be eating the same thing over and over again. I think we all understand that inherently, that really you have to kind of change your food every 3 to 5 days to change over your microbiome, your gut, all that type of stuff. So to really dive into the corn and why it's not good for you, I've gotten 5 basic kind of 30,000 foot views of why it's not that great and why you should get them out of your diet. So the first of those, it's a tropical grass, and it's high in starch, high in sugar. And as I think you all have heard, sugar and starch is one of the things that in today's society is leading to every bit of the degenerative disease processes that we suffer from today. Heart disease, diabetes. They're calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes now because it's basically a blood sugar imbalance of the brain over a long period of time. So all of these things are starting to really come into focus on that we need to get a lot of the starchy, sugary things out. And unfortunately, corn is one of those major starchy, sugary things. So it has to come out of your diet for that reason alone. Second that I really like to kind of talk about is it is a genetically modified organism in today's food society, meaning it's got actually 2 major genetic modifications outside of the hybridization to make it sweeter, make it taste better, make it this, make it that. Those 2 genetic modifications are it's Roundup resistant or Roundup ready, as Monsanto would call it. Now it's glyphosate. Anybody that's ever used glyphosate or Roundup on their yard knows that you can pretty much wipe out anything that is green and living with just a few drops of glyphosate. And they can coat this entire field with Roundup right before harvest and kill all the weeds, but not the corn. So that to me says that this stuff is probably not the best thing to be putting into our bodies if Roundup doesn't kill it. Just a thought. The second one it has is, I remember as a kid that you would see the silkworms every now and then, because we would shuck corn and stuff like that and buy it at the roadside farmer's market and come home, shuck the corn. And you would find worms in there sometimes. Today, you don't really see a lot of worms. At least I don't. I don't shuck corn that often because I don't really eat it. But the people that I talk to that still do, they don't see the worms anymore, because the simple fact is that it's now been genetically modified to where it produces, the corn produces its own pesticide, to where you really don't, you won't find the silkworms able to live there, because now it's got this pesticide. It eats in there and basically explodes its stomach. So that's one of the main reasons right there. That right there alone, that probably is the reason why I really think you shouldn't be eating a lot of it besides the sugar. Number 3 is they're making a lot of oils out of it pretty cheaply, and these are pretty trans fat, hydrogenated trans fats and things like that. Those have a massive correlation into things like cancer, heart disease. They are just awful for you. Your cells can't utilize them to make the the fatty structures of the cell wall, and it just really stops all production of energy. It's not worth it on the oil side of it. So if it's been fried in corn oil, not worth it. All right. then the fact that that's three so far. So to recap, we have the sugar aspect. So it has a massive amount of starch and sugar in it. It is highly genetically modified for Roundup Ready, and then it's got its own pesticide that it produces. The third aspect is that it produces a rancid fat, and it's just a not healthy fat. All trans fat should be out of your diet, and never ever touch those things. Those things are pure unadulterated death, not an overstatement. The fourth thing is, if you are anywhere near gluten sensitive, and I think most of this population in today's society is pretty highly gluten sensitive, then you might develop a cross-reactivity to corn. Now, cross-reactivity, what that means is that if you become highly sensitive to gluten or another protein, then you might become sensitive to this other protein that looks a little bit like it, meaning your immune system might attack this one and it might attack that one. That's the problem that starts to happen with cross-reactivities. Now, when it really gets dangerous is when this other protein is actually part of you, like a Hashimoto's thyroiditis, where this protein over here that really got presented a lot to the immune system looks a lot like this protein that's found on the cell walls of your thyroid. Or it gets really dangerous when it's found in the cell walls of your blood-brain membrane, or when it's found in the cell walls of your joint synovial fluid and you start to develop an arthritis or a rheumatoid arthritis. So all of those things are what we consider cross-reactivities or autoimmune reactivity. So your job as a human is to control inflammation and control your immune system. So those are the two things with it. Now, if you pull corn and grains out of your diet, those cross-reactivities should start to diminish and go away, hopefully. That is the hope with all of that. The fifth thing and the last thing we'll talk about today before we get on our way is in previous a few hundred years ago, when we started to utilize corn as the Northern Europeans did anyway, when they found it with the Native American tribes, the Aztecs and Incans, they brought it back to Europe and they didn't process it properly. Now, that quick rabbit trail with that one, processing. So you have to process corn to make it edible. Just store that away because that kind of hits the premise of all the paleo primal stuff that we talk about, that we shouldn't be eating any processed foods. If you have to process it, it's probably not that healthy for you. Wine and coffee are safe on that, but it's tongue-in-cheek that I said that, guys. So when the Northern Europeans brought that back, coming back to the fifth topic there, when the Northern Europeans brought it back, they didn't alkalize the corn right. They didn't lye the corn. They didn't make it edible, and they started to develop this niacin deficiency. Now, niacin is an essential cofactor. It's a B3 is what it is. Pretty prevalent throughout society in today's diet. If you're in a Western diet, if you eat food, you're probably going to be okay on your B3 status. Now, what I have found is that some people are chronically long-term niacin, not pathologically deficient, but just subclinically deficient in that. And the symptoms for a pathologic deficiency, which is called pellagra, the pathologic symptoms are dermatitis, dementia, diarrhea, and death. If you don't have enough niacin, you're going to get an itchy skin, you're going to have diarrhea, you're going to have an irritable bowel, you're going to have brain issues, brain fog, brain fatigue, things like that. All of those things can lead into that. Now, when you start to understand physiology a little bit, and we're going to, again, keep this pretty simple for you, but niacin is also the crank that allows you to turn your aerobic metabolism. It allows you to produce energy. And then it also is one of the major cofactors for your testosterone production and estrogen production and progesterone production. So for not being able to get pregnant, maintaining pregnancies, having high enough T, those low T clinics and things like that, all of that can be niacin dependent, because that's part of that niacin is what pulls the cholesterol through that pathway to make all of that happen. So all of those things, again, if you have chronic fatigue, if you have hormone imbalances, if you have brain fog, if you have allergies, if you have an autoimmune disorder, you really need to get corn out of your diet. So those are the signs and symptoms. Those are the things that you could be looking for. I'm not against having a corn on the cob every now and then. I think it's great, especially if you slather it with butter and roast it. It's awesome. It's just really is truly great, but it is not an everyday thing, and you really probably shouldn't be eating the things that eat a lot of that unless they're designed to it. And unfortunately, cows are not designed to eat corn on a regular basis. So again, to recap and let you all go for the day, the five things that are really, really one of the 5 main reasons why you need to get corn out of your diet are: 1, it's high sugar, high starch. Sugar is your enemy if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get healthier, if anything else like that. It's highly genetically modified. The scientific jury is still out on genetic modification. It's not out from my life. I think nature did a pretty good job. God did a pretty good job, if you will. Let's kind of leave it semi-alone. And there's going to be a lot of people that hate me because of that, because feeding the world type stuff. But Roundup Ready is not making the world a better place, in my opinion. The other aspect is the rancid fats that are being produced from the corn. Don't eat anything that's been cooked in corn oil. Don't eat anything that has an ingredient of corn oil. It's just bad for your cells. The cross-reactivity, the fourth, is one of those things that builds up over time. If you have any kind of chronic autoimmune inflammatory disorder, please get that out of your diet. All right. The fifth, that's a niacin deficiency. So it's a subclinical niacin deficiency that can lead to anything from chronic fatigue syndrome, dermatitis, any allergy problems, to hormone irregularities. So until next time, eat well, be well, and make your health easy. All right? Have a great night.